ability?
Well, you know, the first part of your question, you know, referring to people leaving him off the most talented guitar player list, I mean, most of those lists are filled with people that shouldn't be on the list anyway. But as far as Frank, yeah. As far as you know, I mean, it really just depends on people's experience with music in general. You know, he's not going to fit into the standard mold, so a lot of people just don't get it. But you know, his ability as a guitar player is certainly underrated. But the main thing that's misunderstood about his playing is that he really didn't play like a standard guitar player. You know, he didn't think in terms of, you know, guitar players get stuck in pattern-oriented devices. You know, they know things based on where it's located on the neck, and they can sort of reconfigure their favorite licks and put them in different keys. But Frank didn't play like that. Frank was more reactionary to the moment. He would have the big picture in mind at all times and be able to listen to what was happening and respond in the moment. That's a very different skill, and that's one of the hardest things to do, to try to play the music and be in that kind of headspace, because I didn't grow up playing that. I grew up in a way where it was like learning Eruption and Randy Rhoads solos and things that were very technically challenging to learn, but it's a skill that, you know, it is a pattern memorization type of thing, where Frank was just ready to unleash his musical ideas at any time and not repeat himself. And so I think he should be at the very top of the list for that alone. As far as the second part of your question, where do I fit in? And that, you know, I don't put myself on any list, but I know the work that I put into it. So, you know, it's a lot of work, and certainly it's emotional for me.
So the list that if Frank Zappa is number 1, then Dweezil is number 2. That's the list.
Well, on somebody's list, maybe, but I'm not making the list.
Okay, question right there.
I have a question for Scott. Since you mentioned the 84 Berkeley performances,
yes,
I have studied many of those scores, and many of them feature an electric bass part, which wasn't here.
Thank you.
Which wasn't played at the actual performances, and even on the LSO recordings. So I was wondering if you have any information on why those parts were left off.
Frank wrote a bunch of arrangements, I guess, for his classical / rock works, where there was no differentiation between, in his mind, the electric instruments and the acoustic instruments, for a Polish orchestra concert. Was that part of the orchestral stupidities? I don't remember. In '84, we rehearsed all of Joe's Garage and about 10 of these works that when we were going to be in the middle of the tour, we were going to go off and maybe record with this ensemble, the Polish National Orchestra or something like that. So we rehearsed all of this stuff, and all of these arrangements he had already. All the music was printed out, it wasn't handwritten at all, it was fully printed, ready to go, totally professional. It was like naval aviation and art. You could go to his house and there'd just be these scores lying around with all the parts. He just had them done and ready to go. And so he said, we're gonna learn all this stuff, about 10, 15 songs. We've spent weeks and weeks on it, and he said, it's not happening. That's it. They were all ready to go, and I had to rehearse them. Like, do we have to do that one? I know we're not gonna do it. I know we're not gonna do it. I was right.
Okay, there's a gentleman here that's been asking about 5 times.
Yeah, hi. Indulge my